All right. So welcome to the webinar. I'm Janet Fish. For those of you who don't know me, I'll talk a little bit about what we're going to do today. And I'd love for it to be interactive. So I've kind of got you guys over here on the side. If you've got any questions or comments, can you raise your hand or just unmute yourself? And depending on how many people are here, unmute yourself and just pipe up. And then it's kind of hard for me to always see the chat. So it would be better if you just raised your hand if you have any questions. Welcome. Like I said, my name is Janet Fish. I am a business coach. I primarily work with solo entrepreneurs. I love entrepreneurs. I love to help them with marketing. And then in the last, year or two, I've kind of focused on email marketing. It's something that I'm slightly obsessed with. And so that's why I'm here today sharing with it. And I'll talk a little bit about why I think it's so important, but let's talk about today. So first I'll just set the stage of logistics. Then we're going to go through why email marketing. We're going to talk about building your email lists. We're going to be talking about using your email lists. We'll talk about best practices of email marketing. And then we'll go through building email marketing campaigns to make you money, because at the end of the day, we want to build our business and make money through email marketing. And some people don't even realize that you can. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that today. So setting the stage, if you want to be on video, that's great. If you don't want to be on video, that's up to you. I love seeing your smiling faces. So if you can be on video, that's great. Like I said, raise your hand, meaning that little button on the bottom that gives you the ability to actually raise a hand so I can see it, or you can put questions in the chat, and at some point I can go through all the questions in the chat, or just unmute yourself and interrupt me and say, I've got a question or I've got a comment. The session is being recorded, so you'll get the replay of it. And let's have some fun today. I said an hour. I don't know how long this is going to take. I didn't actually go and go through the whole thing. So we might have extra time at the end. I have revamped. So I've done master classes and all kind of things, but I kind of revamped this whole presentation, and I loved what you guys were asking about, because I really want to sequence it for you so that you understand what are the general steps, general categories, and then how to actually implement step by step within those categories. So I made an attempt to do that. But I do want to get to know you a little bit. So can you put in the chat 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5? Are you just getting started? Do you have a list, but you're not emailing? Are you emailing infrequently? Are you emailing frequently? And do you have automations built? So if you could quickly put something in the chat just to give me an idea of who's all in the zoo.
Sorry, I was typing out my responses and I realized I could just put these numbers here. Sorry, doing it right now.
Okay. Awesome. All right, thanks. So kind of a mixed bag of kind of new and a little bit more seasoned. So if there's an area where you want me to go deeper, just let me know. And we'll just take it, run it from there. All right. So what are the benefits of email marketing? I just know that people, they kind of know they should be doing email marketing, or like Jay, they've got someone doing maybe some email marketing for them, but they don't really understand or grasp really the benefit to them. So they don't get around to it, or they don't take maximum advantage of it. So one, it's cost effective. So it doesn't normally cost a lot of money to send emails. Most of us have some kind of a CRM, a customer relationship management, or an internet service provider. So you pay a little bit of money for that, but it's a very cost-effective marketing strategy. You can make money in your sleep, not you sleep, your sleep. Now, it's not a get rich quick thing, but if you invest in email marketing, and I've actually got a testimonial I'll play for you later, you actually can make money while you sleep. You can make money through your email marketing campaigns. The marketers say, and this is interesting, I've been looking at email marketing for a long time. The numbers have not changed. And I'd say like the last 5 or more years, the return on investment for email marketing is $44 for every $1 spent. So if you're not doing email marketing and you're investing in other types of marketing, you might want to look at email marketing as a better investment or a better return on your investment. Email marketing allows you to target specific groups with specific messages. And that's a very powerful thing because you can talk to specific needs with specific solutions. So it's really powerful to be able to target different segments or different groups within your subscribers. You can track your results. So you know what your open rate is, how many people have opened your emails. You know the click rate. If you've got a link, you know what percentage of people have clicked versus I like to say social media, because I have clients who boast about their, gazillion of followers, but they don't know who sees the things that they post because social media doesn't allow you to do that. So with email marketing, at least that it got to their inbox, right? Now, whether they opened it or not is a different thing, but there's 100% guarantee that it's going to go into their inbox, or maybe it's going to go into their spam box, but they're going to receive it, which you don't have that. So I'm not saying don't do social media. And I actually talk a lot about, I've done some podcast episodes on how to take your following in social media to get them into your email list, where now you have much more control on how you interact with them and the information that they get. Absolutely take advantage of automation campaigns, right? You write a whole bunch of emails and then they go out automatically. Anytime, let's say somebody gets one of your free offers, they go through a journey we'll talk about a little bit later, but they go through an automation that's already written one time, one and done. That's super, super powerful. And then I'll say, if you're not doing email marketing, your competitors will be. So you're walking away from revenue because they're top of mind, and you're walking away with perhaps referrals. So if someone says that someone comes to me and says they need their house painted, and I had my house painted, I don't know, 5 years ago. And so the guy who painted this is hypothetical, this isn't actual real, but so the guy who painted my house says, well, Janet's probably not going to need her house painted for another 15 years. So I'm not going to bother to email her, right? I'm not going to bother to be front of mind for her. And then Jay, where I'm in a BNI group, and Jay says, I need a house painter. And I'm like, who the heck was that guy? I don't remember who he was, right? So I'm going to go on Google, or I'm going to go on the internet, and I'm going to go find some guy, or I'm going to ask somebody. But if he had been sending me maybe once a month an email that talks about anything about your home, like how to preserve your home, how to, clean your gutter, whatever, something about, then at least, even if I don't open the emails, I still see that he's sending me emails. So he's kind of top of mind. So I'm just kind of like, email marketing, if you're not really taking advantage of it, you're not in front of your clients, your competitors most likely will be. So that's just a thought. All right. I'm going to see if I got to move some things around. So this is what my clients are saying about me. This is my buddy, Adam. He is a podcasting friend of mine, and I did some work with him. We do a bunch of collaboration. I taught him some things about email marketing, and this is what he has to say. Raise your hand if you can hear it.
What's up, my friends? It's your buddy Adam from Podcasting Business School, and I came here to sing the praises of my pod pal, Janet Fish. Janet is somebody that I've known for quite a while, and I know she's amazing at email marketing, but this year her knowledge has directly impacted my bottom line as an entrepreneur and a business owner in a dramatic way. So I had Janet on my show, and we talked about building out an email funnel, an automated email funnel. And that's something that I had never really put too much thought into. I didn't think I needed it. Well, I applied what she taught me. I built out an 18 email funnel, and it immediately started to convert people passively into paying customers, into my membership, into some of my lower ticket offers. But the thing that blew me away was when it started to convert passively on high ticket offers. I never thought that was possible. I remember within the first 3 months, I closed a $4,000 offer that was somebody that I had never met, I never did a consultation with. They found my show, they opted in, they went down the funnel, they bought a $4,000 offer, and that's pretty darn amazing. Janet Fish, you are an email magician. I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
All right, so that's my buddy Adam. All right, so just another reason to use email marketing and use automation. So let's start, like I talk about those 4 steps. So we're going to start with building your email list. How do you build your email list? And that comes through marketing. We all know we need to do marketing, but you need to have a marketing plan laid out that you're implementing in order to find people to talk to. So I absolutely believe that marketing is the secret sauce. I believe that nothing happens without marketing. I absolutely believe you have to have a written down plan. You need a lead magnet. So what is a lead magnet? A lead magnet is a free, irresistible offer of whatever it could be. For example, this webinar is a lead magnet. It's a free, irresistible offer. Come sign up for my email list. I also have an email marketing checklist. A lot of people, use those lead magnets, even if you're in person. And I'm talking to somebody about email marketing and growing email marketing. And they're like, yeah, I know I need to do it, but I'm just not sure what to do. Great. I have an email marketing automation checklist. Let me send it to you. Good. So they give me their email. I send it to them. So lead magnets are a great way, obviously, to build your list, having something free that's irresistible that people want. Create your online and offline strategies, which means what are you going to do offline, meaning Zoom networking or whatever you're going to do on the computer from a marketing perspective. And then what are you going to do that's online? And then what are you going to do offline? What in-person meetings are you going to go to, or speaking engagements or other types of things where you're generating? And I think one of the most important things you can do through your email marketing plan is to build your email list. If you don't have, I won't say it that way. I'll say, I suggest that as you're looking I always look at my business in December and kind of plan for the year. I always have a goal on how I want to grow my list, what my email list I want it to be, what number I want it to be by the end of the year. So it's always something that I'm thinking about. And then execute on your plan, and then analyze and revise your plan. So don't just have a marketing plan that sits in the drawer and you never do anything with. Make sure that periodically you're going back over your list and you're seeing what's working and what's not working. How do I want to tweak that plan? So building your list through engagement. So now I've got some marketing strategies going, and now I'm going to go talk to people. And so here, or engage with people. So phone or way. So on the left are the where, through social media, through podcasting, being a podcast guest, through blogging, being a blogging guest, discussion groups, meetup groups, networking groups, Zoom networking, speaking engagements, online summits, giveaways, many, many ways that you can go to find new people to talk to. That's all the marketing piece. And then how do you build that list? Well, one, you have an irresistible offer that maybe solves a problem. That's the lead magnet I was just talking about. Engage to create know, like, and trust in the people that you're working with. And email is a great way to create know, like, and trust. Because if I'm getting information in my inbox that's helping me in my business in whatever area that you do, and you're helping me with great knowledge, I'm looking at you as the expert. So I'm starting to know, like, and trust you. I know that people are interested in and believe, and love what you do. People are willing to give your service or product a try. And then people will keep coming back for more because they love what you have. So finding people to talk to. I, as you know, I coach a lot of entrepreneurs, and they're like, what do I do? How do I find people to talk to? Use those marketing strategies. Use that marketing plan. Use online networking like Zoom. So I didn't do as much Zoom networking until the pandemic. And then that's all we did, right? Because that's all we had. But I still think Zoom is a really great way to network. And I go to those Zoom networking meetings that do use the breakout rooms, because I actually will submit to you that I go to let's say I go to an offline, I go to a network, a chapter mixer. If I'm not like, if I'm shy or whatever, I can go to a chapter mixer and I can sit in the room by myself, or I can talk to Jim Kaspari because he's a good friend of mine, but I don't talk to anybody else. I don't talk to anybody new. Like, that's an easy thing for people to do. But if you're going to a Zoom meeting and they put you in a breakout room, you got to talk to the people in the breakout room. So I tend to go to a lot of those meetings where they have those breakout rooms. So use online networking as a way to build your business, to find people to talk to. And then, we're all back in person. So let's go offline. Let's go to meetings. Let's join chambers. Let's, find your people out there that are having in-person meetings, and then go offline, because it's much faster than social media or online marketing. So I always say offline marketing is much faster than online marketing. And I also say the goal of online marketing is to get offline. And I consider phone calls offline because or Zoom calls, we're face-to-face or we're directly talking. And then get out of your own way. Like, go find people to talk to. People need what you have. So get out of your way and go engage. And then consistency. So talk to people every day. Have a goal of how many people you're going to talk to. I don't necessarily do a goal of how many people I'm going to talk to, but I do look at my calendar every week, and I look at especially the offline meetings, and I look at, because I'm a chamber member and I'm in Women of Sacramento and I'm in some other groups. So I go and look, what meetings are they having this week? And then I plan out, I'm going to go to 4 in-person networking groups, or I'm going to go to 2 online and 4 offline networking. So have a plan and be consistent about it. And then just start. If you're not doing it, just pick one and just start. Keep track of where your leads are coming from. And this was especially important for me when the pandemic happened, because I went to all these online networking, and I really, because that's all we did, but still, that's time out of your day. And I really had to look at where my leads were coming from, what groups were my people, what groups were getting me the results that I want. Don't just go out and spend time doing, be intentional about it. And then just build the skill, like get out and talk to people and build the skill. And then follow up. So we all know how important follow up is. Use an email service provider or a customer relationship management system. So don't go to an event and get a whole bunch of business cards and then go home and let them sit on your desk. Like, follow up is really, really important, and you got to do it really fast. Don't let those leads linger, because a week from now, they won't remember who you are. But if you come back from an event where you met somebody and you immediately send them an email and say, great, I'm going to send you that thing you wanted, or even just, great, welcome to my list, and it was great meeting you, and whatever, I'm going to send you some great information about such and such. They're going to remember you. And then if you put them into an automation campaign, you're going to continue to be front of mind. And then use segmentation or tags. So what segmentation does, most of the email service providers call them tags, but it allows you to create specific groups within your email list. So for instance, the 24 people that signed up for this webinar are they have a tag that says email marketing webinar April 2023. So I know who all is in that list. And so I can, and I know who showed up, so I can go and I can follow up with the people who didn't show up, or I can send them the replay because I know who they all are. There's many things I can do. So using tags or segmentation really helps you specify and target those people that are on your list with specific messages. And I'll talk a little bit more about that. But those will really help your bottom line. They will help your results. So use segmentation, and then create a plan for your follow-up. Don't just do it willy-nilly. We spend a lot of time and energy and sometimes money to build our list. You know, you go to an event, I pay to be in the chamber. I go to those meetings, like then I don't do anything with them. Like I'm just throwing money away. So really have a plan for your follow-up and create automations that pertain to different things. So you'll have multiple automations. You'll have multiple email campaigns for the different things that you do. And we'll talk more about that when we talk about campaigns. So I always say the fortune is in the follow-up. So we're going to talk specifically about email marketing follow-up. There's 3 phases. So there's the interest phase, the hook phase, and the conversion phase. So the interest phase is, do they open the email? The hook phase is, did they click on the link or do what you asked them to do? And then as far as the email is concerned, and then the conversion phase is, if you ask them to buy something, did they buy? If you asked them to sign up for a webinar, did they sign up? So the conversion phase is, did you get the results that you wanted? So the interest phase is whether they opened it or not. And that, of course, mainly relies on the subject line. So the only job of the subject line is to get them to open your email. So make it impactful. And some of the things that you can do, you can use humor, you can be clever, you can be controversial, but know your audience, right? You might have a segment of your list that you can be snarky with, or you can be controversial with, like know your audience. Scarcity is a great one, like limited time running out, ends today. You know, make it personalized, put their name on it, make it simple. Single words can be kind of intriguing. So make it kind of intriguing, pique the curiosity. Use numbers and lists. People love numbers and lists. So use numbers and lists. Ask a question, a provocative question or an interesting question. So people want to open the email to find the answer. You know, emojis and punctuation, I don't do a lot of that, but some people do, and they find that effective. So if it works with your audience, that's something you might consider. Make it mysterious or curious. And then under 50 characters, some people say 60, 63, but make it so that when I'm looking at it in my inbox, I can see the subject line. I can see pretty much the whole subject line. All right. Then the next is the hook phase. So did they read my email? So ask a question that is answered in the email. Show up quickly. So I don't know about you guys, but when I open an email and I see it looks like the page of a book, I'm not doing anything with that. I'm not reading that. So show up quickly, be loud and clear of what the email is about. Do not be overly salesy, because people will unsubscribe. No one wants somebody who is always trying to sell them something through an email. And I'll give you a little guideline on that in a little bit. Don't waste their time, because they'll unsubscribe or they won't open your emails. Speak to them in their language. They won't read the emails. Speak to them in their language. So if your market is primarily really young people, then talk in their language. If your market is baby boomers, talk to them in their language. Dog lovers, whatever, speak their language. Make sure that the emails are educational and they're learning something from it, so that when they see your email in the inbox the next week or month or whenever it comes, they're like, that was a really good tip that she had. I want to open that email. I want to continue to engage with her through the email campaigns. Make them tell stories. Stories are always fun. Make sure the next step is super clear. And always, always, always focus on the needs of your target market with the problem that you solve. And then the conversion phase is, did they do what you asked them to do? So did they click on the link? Whatever you might be asking them, set up a call with me. Did they call to set up a call or set up a time on my calendar? So did they do what you asked them to do? So here's my content versus sales point system, because people always are like, how often should I ask them to buy something or do something? And when I say an ask, I mean, usually one of two things. I mean, I'm asking them to buy something, or I'm asking them for their time. So typically those are my big asks. So my point system is, for every 5 emails of really good content, I will send 1 email that's an ask. So as we'll talk about our automation campaigns in a little bit, and how you put those together. but start thinking as I put together my list of, let's say 15 emails, or let's say 18 emails, the first 5 are really good content. Then I do an ask, and then I have 5 of really good content, and then I do an ask. So you have a strategy for how often you're giving them really good content versus asking them to buy something or do something. And I don't think about, if I send you an email that says, go listen to if you're interested in this particular topic, go listen to a podcast episode of mine. I don't consider that an ask. Or if you've got a link to some other information, I don't consider that an ask. An ask is get on the phone with me or give me some money, typically. And then move them through your product funnel. And as Adam said through his little testimonial, people first bought something really small from him, and then they went through the system, the emails with him, and ended up buying a $4,000 coaching program from him. So you can use email marketing to move people. They get a free thing. You give them some emails, and then you offer them a $7 product. They buy that. Then you get some more emails, and they buy your, $197 product or whatever it is. So use your email marketing to move them through your product funnel. So let's talk a little bit about email marketing best practices. So first, let's talk about, you must have a lead magnet. You don't have to, but it's really, really important to have a lead magnet that solves a problem. And a lead magnet, once again, is a free, irresistible offer that people want, and will give you their name and email in exchange for that. So you need to have one of those. You need to have an email service provider or a CRM or somewhere where you're putting all of those names and email addresses in that will send out emails for you, that you will be able to create all those automations, and then it will send them out for you. Building your list consistently, it's got to be a focus. So for me, that's one of the best practices about email marketing, is to always be building your list. Follow up with frequent email engagement. So I think that's a really important thing to do. I do what I call a weekly value add email. And so I send out an email. I have a template that I use. So it's not, oh my God, I'm racking my brain every single time I sit down to do it. And my emails are short. So I don't, some of you, like I know Kylie does a newsletter, which is very involved. And she does it once a month. I would probably do the same thing. But what you could do, Kylie, is you could chunk down one of those concepts for a weekly email, and it's a really short email. But so mine aren't long. If you're getting mine aren't very long. And I usually talk about something that's going on with me. So, something that's topical. And then I usually talk about what's going on in the podcast. So I have a template, if you will, or a outline of what I want to do. So I just like staying engaged, and then send targeted emails. Targeted emails get better open rates. So a targeted email would be, let's say I want to, and I've done this. I've done a number of things around email marketing. I've done a masterclass. I've done a giveaway. I've done 5 or 6 things. So I have 5 or 6 different groups in my email, in my whole email list that pertain to email marketing. People have come to my workshop. Now you guys are on a list that have been to the webinar. So if I want to announce, I announced a new podcast that was all email marketing. So I sent an email to all of those lists that only were connected with email marketing. So much more targeted list. If I've got a list over here about something that's not related to email marketing, those people, one, probably won't open the email. So that hurts my open rate, because they track that. 2, they might unsubscribe. Well, that's never a good thing. That doesn't help. And 3, I'm giving them information that they don't need. That's not a good thing. So sending targeted emails have much better open rates and result in much better engagement. And then, of course, create automations for all of your lead magnets, for all of the things that you do. Not all of the things you do, but having a number of automations that do consistent follow-up is obviously an email marketing best practice. Create email. So now we're talking about creating content, right? So now that we've got a list, what do we do with it? So I would say these are my thoughts about creating great email content. 1 is know your audience. So talk to them in their language. Solve a problem or a need. right? And it could be seasonal, it could be something that comes up, it could be something that's newsworthy, but provide great content that solves a problem or a need that people have. Make it engaging and relevant and provide great value. You can make it newsworthy. So what's going on in the news today in your particular industry. Always make it educational, not salesy. And then even that one email every 6 that is salesy, don't make it sound salesy. Like, make it all about the benefits, but don't have them feel like, oh my gosh, she's just trying to sell me something. Be clear and concise. I like, either bullet points or skimmable, short paragraphs. People always ask me, how long should the emails be? And I always say, as long as it takes to get your message across, and no longer. So you don't need to have long emails. I like shorter emails, but just only make them as long as it takes you to get your message across. And then when time and day, I send my emails on Tuesdays. There's no rhyme or reason to that. I've tried to do all sorts of studying or Googling, if you will, and I haven't come up with anything that's a great consensus. Because it's different in all industries. So if I don't send during the weekend, because most of my entrepreneurs are not working on the weekends, or hopefully they're not working on those, so they're not checking email on the weekends. But if you have a group that specifically is engaged on the weekends because they have a job and they're looking for something, then maybe the weekends would be better. As far as time and day, a lot of the email service providers or CRMs have this automatic thing that will determine when the best time or day is to send, given your previous history of sending out emails and open rates and all of that. So utilize that if your CRM does that, or your email service provider. Use that feature, and let it determine when you want to send it out. Oh, this is great. Always preview and test the links and the platforms. So, which is great. I sent out an email reminder today, and I tested it, and it worked. But when I went back, you guys all got I think you got like a totally draft something or other that I didn't write. So the title was there, but so I did test. But maybe that's the recommendation is test twice. Or don't test while you're on another Zoom call, because that's what I did. I sent it out. But always test. So send it to yourself, check the links, and then look at, most of them will allow you to see what it looks like on a phone or a tablet and a computer. So you can see what it looks like on all the different platforms. And then make it visually appealing. So make it look good. Have a strong call to action. Tell them what you want to do. And usually tell them only one thing to do. So tell them to do one thing, not multiple, because a confused mind doesn't buy or doesn't act. So if you give them 15 links or 5 links, they might not go to any of them. But if you say, if you want to learn this, click here, give them one thing to do, and tell them exactly what you want them to do. And then use multimedia. Don't just always send out text. Send out text or images and videos and mix it up, because people like to consume content in different ways. So make sure that you're mixing it up in the emails that you send. And then once you have automations, update them. Like once a year, once every 6 months, go back and look through them and see if things have changed. Maybe you're doing some different things. Maybe the world has changed. Maybe some of those messages need to change. So go back, I don't know, quarterly or annually, and update those automations so you keep them fresh. And then I always hear this, and what I hear is, I don't know what to write about. In fact, I heard that today, didn't I? Okay, so I like to start with repurpose the content that you have, right? So if you've done a podcast interview, or you've spoke, or you've done a video, or you've written a book, or you've got any content that you have, take pieces of that and put them into your email campaigns, right? Short videos are great. Articles or posts, turn them into emails. Like Kylie and I were talking today, she's got her newsletter, or I just said her newsletter. So take pieces of that and make them short emails. So you repurpose the content that you have. and don't be afraid of video. Like, I know a lot of people, I hated video when I first started. Now I don't mind video. But videos are a great way to get your message across, especially in emails. So don't be afraid of doing video in your emails. And then whatever's going on in the news, so something that's newsworthy or current topics, something that's going on. I like this one, questions that you've been asked, because, all of us are going to get questions from people who, like what we do or work with us or are clients of ours. So kind of go back and think, what are the questions that people have asked, and then answer those questions in an email. And then I like this one too, questions people should have asked me, right? So put those into some content, into some emails, and then link to other publications or podcasts. So we all run across stuff that we find interesting. So don't be shy about talking. I found this great article about such and such. I thought you'd be interested in it, and link to it. Because people like that improves your know, like, and trust. And then some of us are kind of fascinated with this whole ChatGPT, which is an artificial intelligence engine, or just Google topics. So use some of those things to help you come up with ideas for things to write about. All right. And then we're going to talk about, so the fourth section is maximizing your list. How are we doing on time? Okay, we're perfect. So how do I maximize my time, my list? So I want to talk about the types of email campaigns. I want to talk about email marketing examples, and then I'll talk about email marketing automations. So what are the different types of email marketing campaigns? So the first one is broadcasts. So those are one-off emails that you write, and that might be special offers. They might be special announcements. You're coming out with a new product. You've got an event. So broadcast emails are ones that typically you write and you send. Then weekly or monthly kind of consistent emails are another type. And so these could be a newsletter, or like my value add email that I send out once a week, or it could be once every other week. It could be once a month. In some cases, it could be once a quarter. Even my example of the house painter, I don't know if I'd wait once a quarter, but maybe, because I may not be painting my house again in the next year or 2 or 3 or 5, but I know people who are. So, and then make them, informational and educational. And those what the weekly emails typically are, give people some good information. And then, of course, there's automations. And so automations are those drip campaigns that we create, and then they run on their own. So some examples of email marketing, emails. So a welcome series, you meet somebody at an event and they're interested in what you have. They say, yeah, I'd like to learn more. Or, I'd like to get on your email list. I'd like to get your newsletter. So you could do a welcome series, welcome to our organization, or welcome, and then give them some great content and follow those other suggestions I had. Then promotional. So sometimes you're going to send an email that because you've got a special promotion. I did that in the holidays. I had a Black Friday or holiday special, and I sent some emails that were specific to that promotion. Seasonal campaigns. So there's this thing called National Day Calendar, which has multiple holidays for every day of the year. So take a look at that and maybe send out an email for, National Dog Day if you're into, animals or something like that. So that's just a resource for you to have a reason to email them, because it's not just because it's Black Friday, but there's whole other things that might be going on. Take, an entrepreneur to lunch day. Great. I can write an email about go find your favorite entrepreneur and take them to lunch. I did, and it was so-and-so, and we went to lunch, and this is what we did. So give you another reason to send people an email. And then very common is the triggered email series. So like you guys will get a email campaign written by me that was triggered by you either attending this event or not attending this event, right? So this event triggered something, and I'm going to create an email campaign that goes off of that. Someone buys your product, that's an event that gets triggered, And then you have an email, maybe the first email is delivering the product, and then it's how to use the product, and on and on and on and on. Post-purchase drip, that's what I was just talking about. So someone buys something from you, then you write an email marketing campaign that's multiple emails that maybe helps them understand how to use what it is they bought. Newsletters are a reason to send an email. Abandoned cart. So if someone goes in and puts something in their cart in your system, and then they don't buy, then that gives you a good reason. Hey, Janet, you forgot that this is in the cart. And I get that all the time. And then I'll get an offer that says, oh, here's 20% off to buy it now. So those are campaigns that people write that were triggered by me abandoning my cart. And then re-engagement campaigns. The email service providers and customer relationship management software, many of them are very powerful. And I can go and I can see people who haven't opened an email from me for, I don't know, let's say over 6 months. And I can write an email to just those people and say, hey, I see we haven't talked in a while, or you haven't, responded. Do you still want to be on my email list, or come re-engage? And so you can have a campaign specific to, and these campaigns are all multiple emails, but to get people to re-engage with you. Straight information are great emails. New product or product updates are a great reason to send emails. Event invitation. I'm having an event, come see it. Cross promotion. So I have an entrepreneur friend who serves the same market that I do, but they sell something that I don't sell, or they do something that I don't do. Jim Kaspari, he does SEO. I don't do SEO, right? But I've got clients who are interested in SEO. So he and I might pair up, and he promotes my email marketing to his group, and I promote his SEO to my group. So I send out an email saying, hey, meet my friend Jim, and he's an expert in this, and he's got this great free thing, right? So you go and get his free thing. And then he does the same for you, right? So building your list and also cross promoting and engaging with people that aren't, that are partners with you. And then just the plain, like I do it all the time, thank you delivery. So I have my free irresistible offer. You go and you get it. I send you an email that automatically goes, it says, thank you for buying. Here it is. And then I tell them that you're going to get a series of emails that are on this subject that I think you'd find helpful or informational. And I tell them you're going to get 2 emails this week, 2 emails next week, and then once a week. So look for those. And sometimes I'll even say, and these are the topics that I'm going to be talking about. So I tell them when I send them that first email with the thank you and delivering what they bought from me or what they opted in for, I'm telling them what to expect from me. So anyway, just some food for thought. Okay, let's talk about email marketing automation campaigns. So it's called an autoresponder campaign. It's called an automation. Sometimes it's called a drip campaign. So it's ongoing contact, typically 7 to 20 emails. While the marketers say you need to touch people, 10 to 20 times before they buy or they take action. So most of my email campaigns, automation campaigns, are at least 12 emails. Most of them are in the probably 16 to 18 email range. You build it one time and then it just runs. So let's say I have let's use my email marketing checklist. So Jim, I'm just looking at the few of you I can see on my screen. So Jim goes and he opts in and gives me his email on Monday, January 1st. Right. And then he goes into the campaign. So he gets the first 2 and then he gets the next 2. And so Jim's 3 months down and he's on email, I don't know, 10 or whatever number it is. Then Kylie does the same thing. So she opts in on February 1st. Then and I don't touch anything, right? I see that she opted in, but I don't physically do anything. Then she gets the first 2 and then the second 2 and then weekly. And on and on and on and on. And so you write it one time, and then as people get triggered, whatever that trigger is, then they go through that campaign and you never have to touch it again, except for to go every once in a while and check and update it or refresh it. And then always have a plan. What do you want them to do? So I want you to, when you create an email marketing automation campaign, to start with what journey do I want to take them on? What do I want them to learn? Where do I want them to go? What do I want them to do? So you really want to plan that whole thing out rather than sit down and say, oh, I know I need to do a marketing automation campaign. What email should I write? And then just start writing them. Like, take them on a journey and create a plan. Use your segmented lists. So, and the way you might segment your list could be on different marketing activities. So I met somebody at a seminar, or I met, or like my BNI folks who are in here. Yeah, I have a segment that's BNI. So if I wanted to talk to just the people in the BNI, I could target those. If they purchased something or they attended, like you guys are all, the 24 people that signed up are all in a list for this particular webinar. So segment those lists and don't go crazy, but use them well, so that start thinking about, what groups do I want to target within my whole world? And then create tags or segments for that. And then know that you will have multiple campaigns. So know that you will have, and the great thing is reusing content, one of my favorite things, but know that there will be multiple campaigns that you will build. But don't worry about that if you haven't done any, just build one, just start somewhere. So this is my how to create your campaigns step-by-step kind of thing. So the first thing is identify what the follow-up relates to. Was it an event that I attended? Was it was it a lead magnet that you had, which is what a lot of us build our lists on? But identify what the follow-up relates to, right? Because you certainly want your email campaign to talk about however that person signed up, right? Or subscribed. So and then identify the trigger. What's the thing that happens that starts the campaign? Now, sometimes you might have to go and actually start that campaign, which I've done. If I have a campaign for someone that checklist I talked about, right? So maybe they say, I'm interested in that. So I go and I sign them up and I put in their name and email address. That triggers that campaign. Sometimes I do that, or I send them a link and they do it, but you need to identify what the trigger is, what starts the campaign. And then start with one automation campaign outline. Like I just said, outline what you want, what the journey you want them to go, what you want them to do throughout that campaign. And I would create the entire outline before you wrote a single email. Like, don't start writing emails until you have the plan. And then start writing those individual email using the best practices we talked about today. Use multimedia. Remember that 5-to-1 point system. So as you're creating that outline, use that 5-to-1 point system. And then use your marketing strategies, track them through your campaigns. So as you're looking at your different marketing strategies that led to people to opting in and giving you their name and email address, use them to really figure out, is it working or not? Are my marketing strategies working? Because did they open my emails? Did they click on my emails? So track them to help really fine tune what's working for you and what's not. I'll give you another example. Let's say I go to I join a new online Zoom group, right? And I'm marketing there, right? I get into a breakout room and we're talking about email marketing, and I offer them my free irresistible offer. And I do that for 6 months. And then I go back and I look and I say, so I track it all. How many of those people actually ever did anything? None. Okay, then I can go back and look and say, that's a marketing strategy you either need to work harder or differently at, or eliminate altogether, right? Or if I'm going to a chamber meeting and all of a sudden I go to the chamber and I've got all these people who are signed up and now some people are working with me, I do more of that because I'm tracking it through my email campaigns, right? I'm tracking and I'm determining and fine tuning my marketing strategies. And so that's the kind of analyzing and revising. So look at your campaigns, look at the open rates, look at the click-through rates, and really analyze those campaigns. And then come to my email marketing and automation workshop. So I put on an email marketing and automation workshop. It is a workshop. It's 4 hours long We talk about best practices, so we go deeper into the things that we've talked about today, but we actually have time to actually work on your campaign. So you actually create those campaigns, or at least partially those campaigns. I give you some of my best converting templates to at least start with. So, it's you're obviously not going to use my copy, but it gives you an idea and it gives you a template at least to get started, and walk away from that day with either a completed campaign or at least some of those emails written with a plan on how to get it done. Because one of my biggest pet peeves is I go to an event and I take 5 pages of notes and I never ever do anything with those 5 pages of notes. And it makes me crazy. So that's why I wanted to do a workshop where we're actually working on it. You can ask questions, but you're actually writing those campaigns and those emails in that workshop. So that's my invitation to you. So what are the benefits? Why, once again, I'll end with why do email marketing? One, email marketing automations. One, you write it once and it runs automatically. 2, it nurtures subscribers. So people are engaged and they're continuously hearing from you and they're getting great content and they're moving down your sales funnel. They're buying more things from you. They're engaging with you. They're showing up with you. Automations increase engagement. You will see when you do an automation campaign and you are consistently in front of people, you will get better open rates and better conversion rates and better engagement because people are seeing you frequently. And then the reuse of content. When I'm going to go create a new email marketing, new automation campaign, I print out all of the copy and I put it in a binder, like I'm a binder girl. So when I'm going to go create a new one, I go and I look through the binder and I can reuse that email or at least part of that email, and I can reuse this one and I can reuse this one and I can grab some ideas from this one. So because I have so many campaigns for everything that I do, I reuse content. So I'm not starting from scratch with all of them. And I'll change them up. And I'll rewrite them or I'll freshen them or I'll maybe add a video or something, but reusing content is a great time saver. And you really can make money while you sleep. You can really create these campaigns and run them, and then people will engage with you and people will buy what you have and you don't have to talk to them specifically about that. And then once again, never let another prospect not remember who you are. Never, oh shoot, I know a really good financial planner, but I can't remember his name because I haven't heard from him. What was his name again? Shoot, I have his card around here somewhere. Oh, I guess I'll just go find someone new because I can't remember his name because I haven't heard from him in forever. Thank you, Jay, for letting me pick on you. All right. So next steps, come to my email marketing workshop. It is May 3rd from 11 to 3. It's a half-day workshop. Like I said, leave with your campaigns written. You will be provided templates. And then I'm also going to give you a 30-minute consult either before or after the workshop. So if you want it before, just to figure out how do I best prepare for the workshop, or what I do with a lot of people, I don't have a lead magnet, or I'm not really sure whether it's the right lead magnet. I like to sit down and talk to Janet about either creating a lead magnet or maybe fine tuning that lead magnet, or just I need some ideas on email marketing. After, if you decide you want to do it after, then it's just a follow-up. I can help you continue to create those campaigns or give you some ideas. We can talk about what other campaigns you might want to write. So come join me. It is $127. And then here is and I'll put the link in the chat. But here is the web address to register. All right. Any questions? Yeah, just go ahead, Jim.
Is this in person or on Zoom?
It's a Zoom call.
Okay, gotcha. Thanks.
And let me put a link in the chat.
I don't have any questions, but you kind of made my head spin a little bit.
In a bad way?
No, a good way. Just, whoa, I got a lot to think about.
I was hoping that it would be I understand more the sequence of what to do.
Oh yeah, definitely. I have a better idea of how to go about making my plan now. That's kind of where I was a little stuck. So definitely you helped me already.
All right, let me just test this link to make sure it works. Okay, it does. All right, any other questions? Jay.
Yeah, you just made a mountain of untouchables, unknowns, very specific and very organized. I mean, all the different steps you took and the detail of each of those steps. Yeah, this looks like a great workshop. So to actually do what you just talked about. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you. All right, anybody else have any feedback or any questions? All right, well, it is like right on time here, so I will say thank you. Unless anybody have any questions or comments? No?
Thank you, Janet.
All right, well, thank you guys. Thanks for coming. I will send out a replay so you'll get that, and hopefully you'll come join me in my marketing workshop. And look for emails from me because you know you're going to get some.
We better. All right, thank you.
All right, guys, thank you. Appreciate you.
Bye-bye.